Hello and welcome to AK Photo Reviews. Today let's take a look at this 2017 Toyota Sienta. This compact 7-seater is among the best, if not the absolute best in the Kenyan market. It's spacious, very fuel efficient and also reliable. It's underpinned by the B platform that also underpins cars like the Toyota Vitz. This means that several components are shared among these cars and it makes it more affordable to produce these vehicles. This is the second generation Sienta that was in production from 2015 till 2022. This 2017 model will set you back roughly around 1.7 million shillings depending on the trim level and mileage. There are 4 trim levels, the X and G packages, then there's also the X Hybrid and G Hybrid packages. In terms of the engine options, there are 2, either a 1500cc 4-cylinder petrol engine or a 1500cc hybrid engine. The 1500cc comes paired to a CVT gearbox, while the hybrid comes paired to an eCVT gearbox. This car is available in either front or all-wheel drive. It's claimed that the 1500cc can get up to around 20 km per liter, but this may sound a bit optimistic, especially with passengers on board, and then it will also depend on how you drive as well as how heavy the traffic is. So in terms of real world figures, expect between 12 to around 18 km per liter, which is actually very good for an hybrid. As for the hybrid, it is claimed that it can get up to around 27 km per liter, but expect somewhere between 15 to around 25 km per liter. The fuel tank is 42 liters. As for the brakes, it gets discs at both the front and back, with the front ones being ventilated. The ground clearance measures in at around 145 millimeters, which is slightly below the recommended 165 millimeters. And with passengers on board, it will get worse, so you'll have to watch out for severe bumps. The cab weight ranges between 1310 to around 1370 kgs. Lastly, some of the extra features you can get in this vehicle include electric rear sliding doors, fog lights, alloy wheels, and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. With that said, let's now take a look at the interior of this car. So this particular one is the hybrid and it gets a blue exterior and a black interior. So you do get the power windows and mirrors, a bit of storage, a bottle holder as well as a speaker. And mostly the interior is made of plastic, which is okay for the price as well as durability. The seats get manual adjustments and the door also opens quite widely, so the aperture is good enough. So once you get in, the first thing you notice is the instrument cluster is above the steering wheel, so you view it above the steering wheel as opposed to through the steering wheel. You do get buttons here for switching off the active driver assist features such as lane departure alert, a cup holder, and then for this particular car the left rear door is power sliding, but you can switch that function off. The steering wheel is plastic, it's not leather wrapped. At the center you get an Eclipse infotainment screen that also acts as the backup camera, automatic climate control. Then there's a space in between these two front seats. So if someone is sitting at the left front seat, he or she can be able to move to the back seats. There's a bit of storage on the upper compartment, but unfortunately there's no light. Then there's a 12-volt power outlet, a bit of storage on this shelf, a cup holder on the left side, then a glove box which is decent enough, but it's not lockable and it also does not get an illumination or a light. So this is the user manual. Here at the front row, the space is decent enough. There is good head and legroom, and the seats are also quite comfortable. So even taller people will be able to sit comfortably here, even for long journeys. You do get a grab handle as well as a mirror, but no light on the sun visors. a couple of reading lights, though they are not LED. Generally, the layout of the dashboard is unlike most cars. The design is not conventional. There's no grab handle for the driver. Most people will get used to it. It's not a bad layout. It's actually very functional, and most things are placed where you would expect them to be. So there are more buttons on this side. There's a traction control button, an eco mode, an EV mode. So that means you can drive this vehicle purely on the batteries. So once you locate this lever, you can be able to adjust the steering wheel for rake but not reach. So now let's take a look at the back seats. So you can get this car in 3 seating configurations, either a 7-seater, a 6-seater, or a 5-seater. The 5-seater variant is exclusively for the wheelchair variants. So the second row of seats are equally as comfortable as the front ones. The space, the headroom is good enough, but the legroom is a bit limited. Taller people may find it a bit cramped, but most people of average height will be quite comfortable. Something like the Toyota Wish is more spacious, but even this one is spacious but not as the Toyota Wish. So to access the third row of seats, you locate this lever. The seat will tumble forwards. Then you will be able to access the third row. The aperture is not that big. So this is the amount of legroom I have. It's not all that spacious, but I think I can be comfortable here even on a long journey. There's a bit of storage where you can place your phone as well as a cup holder. And in terms of the headroom, it's quite decent. So it's not that bad back here. I will say it's almost just as spacious as the third row of seats of the Toyota Wish and Toyota Isis. Maybe they may be just slightly more spacious, but it's not that bad back here. There's also space under the second row of seats where I can stretch out my feet. Unfortunately, the Sienta does not come with rear AC, so you will have to rely on the air vents from the front. Compared to something like the Honda Freed, which is this vehicle's main competitor, I would say in terms of space, they are almost equally matched. To get out, once you locate this lever, you just pull it and then the seat will tumble forwards and you'll be able to exit the vehicle. The reason the seat is not tumbling all the way forwards is because the driver's seat has been pushed slightly backwards. This car also misses out on the center armrest. So now let's have a look at the boot. With the third row of seats up, the boot is quite limited. You can maybe fit in a medium-sized suitcase and a few other smaller items. There's also a bit of storage underneath the floor. It's quite a small space, and this is where the battery is located. There is a light, and if you want to increase the boot space, you can either totally remove the third row of seats, or you can as well tumble the third row of seats forwards using this lever. The seat will fold down. You can also do the same to on this other side. The good thing is that these seats can actually be folded in a 50-50 split fashion, as opposed to some other cars that can only be folded in a single fashion. So you can also use this strip to tumble the seats forward. If to bring them back up, you just use the same lever, you pull it, and then you pull the seat back, and you can now use the third row of seats again. So this is a very decent car, and looking at it from the exterior, you will not even know that it's a 7-seater. It looks small from the exterior, but inside it can seat 7 passengers. So there you have it. This is one car that ticks almost all the boxes. It may not be as spacious as the Toyota Wish, but it's still spacious enough for a family or even for business. In fact, it's very ideal for serving both family and business needs. It's very reliable and fuel efficient as well. If you plan on getting the hybrid, then get one with around 50,000 kilometers or less, so that you can fully maximize on the hybrid battery's life. Remember, these batteries can last up to around 10 years, or in terms of mileage, up to between 200 to around 250,000 kilometers. This is a parallel hybrid, or you could also call it a self-charging hybrid. It can move purely on the battery alone at low speeds, then at high speeds the engine kicks in, or at times both can work in tandem to give you more boost. So this is a very decent car. It's a car I would highly recommend. It competes against the Honda Freed, which is also a very decent choice. So I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any enquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. You can also use the details in the description box to support the production of this content by donating. Your support will be much appreciated. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. That's it for this particular episode. Stay safe, pray for peace, and see you in the next one.